Listen up because today I've got 6 reasons why you absolutely must start writing your book as soon as possible. Stick around. What's up, guys? My name is Brandon McNulty. I'm a writer, I'm the author of Bad Parts, and welcome to my writing channel. Today we're going to talk about something that is very important. It is the subject of just getting to your novel and writing it as soon as possible. And this is something that is so important because a lot of people out there want to write a book someday, and they often push it off and they say, you know what, I'm waiting for the right moment. I'm waiting for my kids to go to college, or I'm waiting to retire. I'm waiting to get laid off from work, or for some free time to manifest, or whatever the reason is. You can't be making excuses like that. And today I've got 6 reasons why you should just start writing it as soon as possible. The first reason is gaining responsibilities over time. Now, we all have responsibilities in our lives, whether it be school, a job, a family, whatever it is. We have things that need to get done that are more important than our writing. Now, here's the thing though. You have to respect that chances are you do have free time. And if you have that free time, you should spend it on your writing if that is one of your biggest goals. Now, you might say to yourself, well, okay, that's great and all, Brandon, but I have a lot of essays I need to do for my college class, and I do have a little free time, but I'm exhausted. I don't really want to work on that writing. I'll save it for another time. I'll push it off until I do have more free time to work on your writing. Now, the problem with this is you can't take for granted that your life is going to be easier down the line. Yes, it might get easier. You might get out of a rough stretch, but you might also get more work thrust upon you. Say you get a promotion at your job, or you get into an advanced class or something like that, or you meet the person of your dreams, and next thing you know, you have triplets, or whatever it is. You don't know how many responsibilities you're going to have down the line. So if you do have any free time now, you got to seize that moment. You got to work on your writing and pursue your goal of writing that first novel. The number 2 reason is death. I don't know if you've heard, but we all die. And if you die, it causes problems as far as your writing goes, because you really can't hit keys or move a pen. So I would recommend getting your novel written in your natural life. Another thing to consider, there are probably other people in your life who you want to be there when you release that first book, or when you release your first 3 books or 5 books or whatever. Keep those people in mind, because death, it's a morbid thing to say, but we're all one car accident away from being taken from this world. So don't take anything for granted. Get things done as soon as you can so you and the people around you can enjoy your successes. The number 3 reason, someone might beat you to your ideas. You don't want this to happen, and it does happen to writers out there. You might think that you have the most original, the most individual idea out there that only you can write. But you got to remember that there are billions of other people on this planet. And among those billions of other air breathers, there might just be someone out there who has an idea that is similar to yours. And if they beat you to the punch and they publish it before you do, and they get it out there before you do, you're going to be kicking yourself for the rest of your life. The number 4 reason, ideas have expiration dates. Now, I'm not trying to say that there's no such thing as a timeless novel, or that novels can't be ahead of their time, but I think for the most part, most of the stories we write are best read in the time that they're written. By this I mean, basically, if you're writing, you're probably writing about the world around you, and how you interpret the current day and everything that's going on in it. And chances are the readers who are best suited for your work are the people who are walking around right now and experiencing the same world as you. Now, in other words, let's say that back in 2002, you had a really good idea for a counterterrorism novel. Maybe it was a really cool thriller idea, and it was right on the money, because this is of course right after 9/11, and we're in the midst of the whole terrorism scare, and we're all afraid of this shit, and it's something that is constantly on our minds, and something that can really resonate with audiences everywhere. If you write that book in 2002, maybe you get it published in 2003 or somewhere around that time, you're going to find an audience, and an audience is going to definitely appreciate it. They're going to feel it because it's contemporary, it's right with the times. Now, if you came up with that idea in 2002 and you said, you know what, I'm going to write that idea when I retire in 2020, and then 2020 comes along, you start writing that idea, and next thing you know, coronavirus is the big thing, and that's all people are concerned about, and that's what they're terrified, and terrorism's no longer the boogeyman because the virus has taken over. basically what I'm trying to say is that right now in 2020, if you have a pretty good idea for a pandemic story, get it done now. The number 5 reason, more books equals more success. Now, every time I go to a writer's conference, there's always one thing that I hear from somebody. Somebody always brings up this idea that the best form of marketing is finishing your next book. And by this they mean that if you put one book out there, that's great. You have a chance to reach audiences and maybe people will love it and so on and so on. But if you put a second book out there, you might have a chance to reach totally different audiences. You might have a chance to reach somebody who is not at all interested in your first book. But if they are interested in that second book and they read it and they find that they like your writing style or they just like your subject matter or how you handle things, they might just say to themselves, hey, I haven't even heard of that first book, or maybe I wasn't interested in it when I saw an ad for it or whatever. They might say, hey, you know what? Now that I've read that second book, I'm willing to take a chance on that first book. And then my 6th and final reason is the nature of laziness. Now, here's what laziness is. All laziness is a fancy word for fear. Laziness is just the act of saying to yourself, I'm going to do that later because I'm afraid of it now. I'm going to push off this novel that I've always wanted to write because I'm afraid to write it right now. I'm afraid I'm not good enough. Maybe 25 years from now I'll be good enough, but right now I'm afraid, and I'm not really thinking I want to do it because I'll just do it some other time. That's not the attitude you want. You need to seize every opportunity. You need to face your fears. You need to get in front of the keyboard, open up the Word document. Yes, it's a blank page and it's terrifying, but once you start writing, it becomes more manageable. And the more you write, the more you learn about the craft, and the more you learn about the craft, the more able you will become to write that book you've always wanted to write. The only way to break the habit of laziness is by actually doing something. So start doing it now. Question of the day: what is the number 1 reason why you want to write your next book? Let us know in the comments section below. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos. Hit the like and subscribe buttons for me. Share this video with a friend if you don't mind. Pick up a copy of Bad Parts if you haven't already. And as always, remember to keep on writing.